The internet is like, look for a thing that says enhancements, but I don't have it.
This week on Dueling Review, we review Chilling Adventures of Sabrina number 7. The Horror Adventures of Sabrina return. Learn the haunting backstory of Sabrina's father, Edward Spellman. Boo. Hey, Matthew.
Yes.
Look, we have a brand new Chilling Adventures of Sabrina after, 6 years.
It seems like we just covered the last issue, 2-3 years ago?
It feels like the person who wrote this book is done working on a television series and has time to write his book. Just kidding, Roberto Aguirre Sacasa. We love you.
We do.
And I really love this book. This is is this a double-sized volume?
This is larger than usual because it's a $4.99 volume.
Yeah, and mine says 44 pages, so that's kind of a big deal. I mean, we're looking at an electronic version that that Archie Comics sent us, but the beginning of the Witch War, and we learn all about demonology, and most importantly, we learn about Edward Spellman, who has come back and is now inhabiting the body of Sabrina's dead boyfriend. That's not going to get creepy at all.
Oh no, it's going to get creepy. This book is creepy from top to bottom.
Oh yeah, and it gets really creepy in this issue because we learn the entire history of Edward Spellman, all the way back when he was little Eddie Spellman, who looks a lot like Eddie Munster and who lives in the Eddie Monster house.
Who is in fact very much like Eddie Munster, and that's just the first of the pop culture references here for me too, because early on they're talking about. Oh God, what is the guy's name? Stephen Catano.
Yeah.
The previous genius, that's actually the villain from Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yes, and I was trying to find, I know that Father Constant, the gentleman of the Church of Satan, he's got to be somebody, and I'm sure that he's somebody. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that, as we've seen in previous issues, with the Bye Bye Birdie references, with the return of Madam Satan, with all of the things that are happening in this book, it's like they've taken everything that we know about pop culture and kind of stuck it in this weird,
kind of skewed it, warped
weird,
made it scary,
creepy, demonic story that actually is remarkably charming and really, really entertaining. And God, I love the art.
Oh, yeah. So the art in this is just fantastic. Always is fantastic. I really dig this. This is artwork from Robert Hack. And it is it's wonderful. It's, first of all, the character structure, the drawing of the characters, the physicals is great. But then you add in the awesome coloring, which I'm guessing is also by Robert Hack because lettering is Jack Morelli. And those are the only 3 credits that we have in here. But the color scheme and the way that the darks and the creepies and the reds and the oranges and the browns all mixed together in here is just wonderful beyond compare. And I dig it. And this is a scary book, kids. I mean, I don't know if this is something that's going to give you nightmares, but the art in this book is horrifying.
It is going to give you nightmares. The opening sequence has they don't actually show it, but it is taking place during a break of patricide and cannibalism, and it's Harvey Kinkle with his fresh teenage Harvey Kinkle face, covered in blood, talking about, oh well, things are going to be different now. Mother. You may know me as Edward. Yeah,
and so we get a flashback to young Eddie Munster, who, as a young boy at the age of 7, is able to start conjuring demons, lesser demons, but still demons nonetheless. And he does it with ease to the point where the priest at the Church of the Night is like, young Eddie Munster, here's some tasks for you. Why don't you see if you can conjure these demons? And then he starts conjuring more and more demons, and demons that are higher up. I mean, Beelzebub shows up in this. And
the Beelzebub cameo.
Yeah. And it just keeps going and going and going. And finally, Father, what's his name, says to Eddie, hey,
Father
man,
Constant.
The Church of the Night is starting to lose membership. I mean, evil religion worship is way down. We need a big seller. We need to bring people in. We need to pack this place to the roof. The only way you can do that is if you, Eddie, can summon Satan. And if you
and
do
really,
it,
good.
Yeah, and if you can do it, then you'll have riches beyond compare, and you'll be the high dark pope and all this thing. And one by one, Eddie is not able to summon Satan until he figures out a way to summon Satan, and he becomes like the big dude in the church because everyone's like, Eddie, we love you, hail Satan,
hail Satan, hail, yeah.
And then of course the father's all his promises he goes back on, and
yes.
Eddie decides to seek revenge.
He's a jerk face, and the man is a cardinal in the Church of Satan, and I'm not making any type of judgments. I'm just saying there's a chance that he's used to, stabbing people in the back, figuratively, perhaps as well as literally. But
yeah,
it's a really fascinating story, and the fact that he is visually, Butch Patrick in 1961 throughout this opening segment, right down to the little schoolboy outfit with the lace ruffle.
Yep.
The Peter Pan collar and all like that. I just adore that level of technique, that level of reference where if you're not looking for it, if you're not aware of it, you're not going to be thrown by it. It's not something that's distracting. It's not flashy. But for the people who know, it's right there.
And you can't avoid it.
And you can't miss it. And it is truly fascinating to just read through this story. And I think that there may be some lies because I don't believe that Edward is an entirely trustworthy narrator.
Oh, no. And one thing that people can do, and I don't have it in front of me because, it's been a while since we've had a chance to read Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. But in one of the previous issues, we had a chance to hear how Edward and Sabrina's mother met and got married and had all that. We got that from a different perspective. So if someone's really paying attention, they could go back to the previous telling of that story and see where some inconsistencies lie and maybe find out what is true and what is not true in the piece. But for the most part, Edward gets swallowed up by a tree, and we know how he comes back out because we saw it. Was it last issue? I'm pretty sure it was last issue.
I believe it was. Yeah, last issue. He at the end of last issue, he was back and he's in Harvey's body.
Yeah. Now there's a cute little follow-up backup piece that's Sabrina the Teenage Witch done in the classic Dan Parent or the Archie style. And she goes to Transylvania to meet with Count Victor, and she totally changes his life around, gets rid of his teeth, gives him chicken soup so he doesn't have to drink blood, gives him some sunscreen so he can go out, gives him a waterbed because, waterbeds are all the thing, and then turns Dracula's castle into a tourist trap. So, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, and it is... We've done this before. We've said this before. When you're doing those, like the modern Mark Waid Archie tales or the Chip Zdarsky Jughead, and you cut to that classic, MLJ Archie stuff in the back, it can be a little bit of an adjustment. But after 28 pages of gothic horror with, some pretty difficult blood and a little bit of some sexy in there, and of course Satan himself popping up in a suit and tie, cutting to that classic the Dan DeCarlo Sabrinas, you're just like, that is mood whiplash of the highest order. But both stories are still fun, and that's the weird part of this whole thing, is you can't necessarily completely divorce it because this is actually really dark. This is a really dark story.
But I'm loving it. That's the weird thing is this is so good that, just like Afterlife with Archie, which again is another series that we have not heard from in months and months and months, maybe a year, in fact. But The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is well worth the read. It's not set in the Afterlife with Archie universe. It's its own thing, but it is so good, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving this 2 big thumbs up. This is something that can't be missed. Now, again, it's not for the younger set because there is some boobies and there's some sexy going on and some, devil worship. There's
violence,
worship,
there's
so
graphic nudity. There are adult themes and situations. There's patricide. There is cannibalism. There's all sorts, and there's the creepy fact that Sabrina's boyfriend, who 2 issues ago was pressuring her to go all the way, is actually her father.
Now,
yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to stop pressuring her. If you know what I mean. This is a terrible.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Now, here's the good thing.
Yes.
In the email that I got from Archie Comics with this review copy, it did say that there will be another issue next month.
Nice. So they've got some issues hopefully banked.
Hopefully.
Wouldn't
That's
it be
what I'm
nice
hoping.
if and I'm fine with a long delay for a sufficiently decent comic. I mean, I have no problem with there being a long break. Excuse me, because I have the hiccups now. A longer break when the book is worth that wait, when it's worth the time and effort. But I think it is something that affects your enjoyment a little bit. And I kind of wonder if they wouldn't benefit from that Image Comics theory of get the issues banked, print the issues, do the trade, have a couple, 3, 4, 6, whatever it is. I think it was 6 months in the case of Sex Criminals, where it went away. The trade was out. You could go buy the trade. You could hang out. You could get up to speed. And then when they have the issues banked and ready to release on a monthly or a bi-monthly or heck, a quarterly schedule, I don't care, you can get those books out there. Yeah. And everybody will be like, yeah, we got that Sabrina, man.
And I agree with you. And that may be why we're getting these running, because this is chapter 1 of The Truth About Demonology. And so in the time that, the series has been away, maybe the writer has spent the time and written everything up and has the whole 6 issues or 5 issues or however much this arc is done. And they will release them, one a month until this story is complete. And then we may have another 6-month hiatus. And then we will get another story arc of 4 to 6 issues. Now, the last one was 6 issues. So that may be what they're doing. And I would be okay with that, too, because this
6 issues is probably.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Matthew, that this is a series that is worth waiting for. And when you hear that there's a new issue that's out, I want to run and grab this issue right away.
Yeah, rush right out in a buying frenzy for Sabrina, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is really that good. So go check it out. Brand new this week. Next week, from Dark Horse Comics, we have Briggs Land Lone Wolves #2, Gru Play of Gods #1. We got a Legend of Korra coloring book trade paperback. That'll be fun for the kids or adults. You never know.
Or the adult kids.
Or the adult kids that are out there. DC Comics has Action Comics 983, Batgirl and the Birds of Prey #12, Bug the Adventures of Forager #3. That's the halfway point in this series. Dark Days, The Casting #1. Oh, we're starting to get into the crazy stuff now.
The casting?
Yeah. This is part of that. This is all part of that big story arc that's coming up.
Batman, the role of Conrad Birdie will be played by Batman.
Yeah, there you go. Detective Comics 960, Flash 26, Justice League of America #10, New Superman #13.
Superman.
Scooby Apocalypse #15, Superwoman #12. Isn't that Lois Lane?
Yes and no. I believe it's actually
this
Lana
is like
Lang.
2 different. Oh, okay. Lana Lang. Okay. Wonder Woman 26.
In those early issues, they had both Lois and Lana, and right now I think it's Lana with John Henry Irons and his niece Natasha.
Ah, okay, cool.
And her boyfriend Boris. They will fight Moose and the Squirrel.
You can tell I've been reading that series.
Yeah, you're 12 issues in.
Yeah. IDW Publishing next week has Dirk Gently's Salmon of a Doubt, or Salmon of a Doubt.
I think it's Salmonella.
Or Slalom of a Doubt. Or Solemn of a Doubt. There you go. Slalom. Slalom of a Doubt.
Slalom of a Doubt. That's what it is.
Dread
For
Gods.
the skiers.
Dread Gods #1 comes out next week, as does King of Creepies Game. I don't know what that is. It's a game. $40.
King of Creepies. Blah. It's that Kevin Smith show.
Optimus Prime #9. That's the Comic Book Man.
Till all are one, which means they're going to start off again.
Orphan Black Deviations #3, Real Science Adventures, Flying She-Devils #4 of 6, Uncle Scrooge #28, and Winona Earp Season 0 #1. And hey, be on the lookout. If you are into the DuckTales, the 0 issue is going to debut at the San Diego Comic-Con, and I can't wait for that book to arrive in the coming weeks and months ahead, because that's going to be fun. It's the DuckTales. Yes, #0.
What was it?
Image Comics has Deadly Class #29, Drifter, States of Hysteria #2. Oh, I'm sorry, Divided. What am I reading here? Drifter Trade Paperback Volume 4 and Divided States of Hysteria #2. There we go. Is that the Howard Chaykin one?
It is.
Is that the one that they've now had to apologize for a couple of times?
That is the issue 4 solicits were just utterly terrifying. It was really offensive. It was really bad.
Oh, speaking of offensive, your favorite Savage Dragon, number 225. We'll be talking about this next week on the Major Spoilers podcast.
No,
has a XXX cover. It's
that 26 way.
It is a $12 book, and I was going to ask you if you had seen the censored version of the cover that has popped up on some various places on the internet. I've not seen it on any comics sites, but I have seen it on some chat channels. And
I thought I saw something on Major Spoilers about it existing.
It exists, yes, but I will send you then the cover image. And if all the censored dots that have popped up are removed, holy crap. It's going to be definitely a XXX cover.
Horrifying.
I don't know horrifying, but it's certainly not what I expect on the cover of a Savage Dragon book.
Well, Savage Dragon is a book that has had sexuality in it, a lot of sexuality, and not always subtle sexuality. Remember, Savage Dragon's mother was actually a sex worker who met his father through his role as a cop.
Right.
And then they later fell in love and had a baby. So
no, that's how that stuff comes about. And
that's how Savage Dragon came to be. That's his origin.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it came about. Yes, I just sent you it. It should be there in your Skype chat right now.
What the what? You can't do that on television.
Well, it's not television. That's the good thing. But it is a comic book cover. Now, I'm imagining that all of these censored dots are removed. It would have to be if you're charging someone $12 and you don't have, and this is what they get. I would be pretty upset. But yeah. Wow.
I kind of hope that the censored dots are not removed. My thought process is, wow.
Yeah, it's yeah. There you go. Marvel Comics next week has Amazing Spider-Man number 30, Black Panther Crew number 4, Edge of Venomverse number 2 of 5. We also get Jean Grey number 4, Hulk number 9, Spider-Man 2 number 1. Ooh, I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
Spider-Man.
No, not Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 number 1.
Them spider skin.
On the Star Wars front, you have Darth Vader number 3, Dr. Aphra number 9, and Legends Epic Collection Original Marvel Years Trade Paperback Volume 2. So that would have in it the, I think that would be 7 through 12 or 15 that has the Magnificent Seven thing with fuzzy bikini and giant bunny. I think that's in that story.
Fuzzy bikini and giant bunny?
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's my Jefferson Airplane cover band.
One pill makes you
Matthew
fuzzy.
Gets it. X-Men Blue number 7 comes out, as does Zombies Assemble number 0. In all of the rest category, we have, Airship, Adventures of Little Nemo hardcover number 15. We also have Black-Eyed Kids number 13. That's a mature reader's book. Centipede number 1 comes out from Dynamite Entertainment. And yes, that is based on the classic game, I think from Atari, because it's part of that whole Atari deal that they have going on, which is really kind of cool.
I believe that was an Atari game, yes.
We also have Godshaper number 4, Grass Kings number 5, Immortal number 1, Josie and the Pussycats number 8, Mighty Mouse number 2, also from Dynamite Entertainment. Did you read number 1?
I glanced at it. I haven't sat down to read it, but it's in my to-do list.
Okay. Skin and Earth number 1 of 6, Spice and Wolf graphic novel volume 13, The Cast-Offs number 8, War for the Planet of the Apes number 1 of 4, and Warhammer 40K Revelations number 4. Those are some of the books coming out next week, and you should check your local comic shop. That's an LCS. Check with them to make sure that they have issues that you want. And if there are issues that you think you might want in the future, let them know. Get your pre-orders in so that your comic shop knows what to order just for you. Next week on Dueling Review,
Spider-Man 2 number 1. This is it, true believers. That's a terrible Stan Lee. The moment 5 years in the making is finally here. The first time Peter Parker and Miles Morales met ended with a question. Who is the Miles Morales of the Marvel Universe? Now that the Miles you know and love is with Peter in the Marvel Universe, you're going to get the answer to who the other Miles Morales is, and that's just the tip of the Milesberg. as Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli bring you the next heart-stopping adventure for Peter Parker and Miles Morales.
You can show your support for this show and everything we do at Major Spoilers by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Your contribution allows us to keep this show going, pay for our growing costs, and gives us the motivation to produce more content for you each and every week. So what are you waiting for? Head over to patreon.com/Major Spoilers and sign up today. Thank you so much for checking out Dueling Review, and we will talk with you next time when you will hear Matthew say,
well, let me tell you one thing, son. Nobody ever lends money to a man with a sense of humor.
This podcast is copyright 2017 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.